Good, beautiful morning, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I have with me today the energy of Archangel Michael. His communication is on the understanding that emotion is the currency of creation. And when he first came in, he said, people think money and power is that important, but emotion, very, very few of you understand what emotion is. So when he said that to me, I thought, yeah, it's really true. People do not understand emotion. Emotion is the currency of creation. That all of the functions that you can perform in this world require a function of emotion behind every word, every thought, every action is born because of emotional energy. If you understand that, then every human endeavor is based in a function of emotion. And another thing he said is people do not understand that the range of emotion is infinitely high and infinitely low. I said, what do you mean by this? Because the spectrum of emotion has no bottom and no top. It goes in spectrum of fear to love, but there's no line of demarcation between fear and love. They kind of meet in the middle, right? But he also said that negative emotion can be infinitely, good morning, thank you so much. Negative emotion can be very dark and evil, almost beyond imagination for some human beings. The idea of murderous rage or brutal conquest. He said there's emotional functions that are very, 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 very dark. And he said there's also emotional functions that are very, very, very light. And that the human will in this dimension has the ability to decide what emotion it will engage in at any given point in time. And I found that kind of interesting. He said, we are at a very, very pivotal point as a species right now. Very, very pivotal point as a species right now. Anyway, I have Michael with me today. So if you have any questions or considerations you want to ask, it's very, very interesting to know. Very, very, lots of very, very's today. So when he came to me, it was a very interesting feeling because I haven't had Michael come to me personally for quite some time. And it was almost like a big brother, right? Big brother coming. Meet you. Hi, Kira. Good morning, Vertical. Hi, Jasmine. Yeah. And so if emotion is the currency of creation, your thoughts are what give the emotion their structure of meaning and function. It's interesting, eh? Thoughts give your emotions their meaning and function. My wonderful brother is going through a tough time. Any message from our dad? Yeah, there actually is. Tell your brother he's not alone, for starters. This is a common problem. Yeah, I will. You're just saying, just tell your brother that he's not alone. There's a point of intersection in energy between human beings, whether they're in a body or not. The concept of grief is grotesquely misunderstood. And my respects to those who have lost loved ones. You have not lost their essential nature. You've lost the ability to communicate them as physical entities. You have to shift your perceptual apparatus from perceiving from the physical dimension to perceiving on the dimensions of feeling and presence, not physical presence, the energetic presence of their being with you. Many of you still think of death as an end. And from the perspective of your biology, death is an end of biology. but it is not an end to your existence. When we experience individuals coming from the body into being, simply the soul, the energy, the essential being, when you come into that state, it is often not very understandable at first because you're so used to experiencing the lifetime you left from the perspective of biology exclusively. And yet biology is an extension of your consciousness, not a source of your consciousness. So when a loved one leaves the physical dimension, their consciousness, their energy, their spirit, if that term works better for you, still functionally exists and can interact with your spirit. And this is where people do not understand that grief is actually not a function of suffering. Grief is a function of communication between you and the loved one seeking to still connect and commune with you energetically. They're functionally seeking to be present with you in spirit, not in matter. While many of you choose to be so attached to the function of matter that when your loved ones do come to you in spirit, it reminds you, you feel their energy and you're suddenly thinking about them because you're feeling their energy, but you do not think you are, you think you're missing them because you're so accustomed to seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, tasting them as a physical organism exclusively. That's what's one of the challenges of being in a physical body is many of you get disconnected from the other realms of perception and existence and consciousness, including the multidimensional realms. But that function of connection with you energetically is what grief really is. It's the energetic connection between you and that one, where you can energetically resolve and heal many of the incomplete elements that did not get sorted out while they were in physical form. And so the spirit of the being and your spirit of being interact. And many of you perceive that interaction on the level of grief because your psychology is accustomed to perceiving them only as a physical being. If when you find yourself, and certainly your brother can find himself in those moments of grief, if he calms his mind, relaxes his body, and asks to experience the presence of his father, what he'll begin to see and hear and feel in spirit will be very different than what he thinks and believes in mind and body, because your mind and body is limited by the structure of its belief, because that is structured by the physical world. Mind and body are physical dimensions. And so through the physical dimension, you can only perceive physical. And so when the spirit of another comes to you after they've left the form, you feel their presence. And you suddenly say, oh, I miss them, because you're looking for the body. You're looking for the physical presence, which is not here anymore. But their spirit is with you. So the next time you find yourself in grief, that is just the biological, psychological mechanics of your personality yearning for their physical presence, but their spirit is with you. And if you can realize this, close your eyes and tell your brother to feel his father's presence, not look for the physical body. You won't find the physical body of one who has left the physical dimension as that form has completed its journey. That soul through that form is, well, worn the horse out, if I can use that term. Worn the horse out. Yeah. Good morning. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate that. Good morning. Hi. Question from Vertical Connection. In my morning meditation, I saw this big black cosmic hole. What is the message? Go into the hole. Go into the darkness. It's not what your mind thinks it is. In that place is the beginning. The Alpha and the Omega exists in what your mind would perceive as nothing. but which your soul would know as everything. In your meditation, go to that place of what your mind perceives as nothing. Your mind cannot know the truth of anything other than what is of this world. So the mind perceives it through the lens of its knowing. In your meditation, go into that, what you call that black hole. Go in there. In there you will find a vastness of perception and consciousness that is very wholesome, complete unto itself. You can logistically consider the reality of what you know of as space. That thing that you call the black hole is the all-encompassing space that holds within itself all that exists. This is true just from the perspective of your physical dimension. If you look at the stars and the planets, are they not contained in an empty space, which is not actually empty at all? In your meditation, go to that space, commune with it, get to know nothing. In knowing nothing, you will know so much more than your little mind from this lifetime or other lifetimes can conceive of. Everything is contained in the nothingness of space. So that means that the nothingness of space is not nothing at all. It is a supportive architecture of consciousness that contains within itself all things that live in this existence. Wow, that's a great question. Very interesting answer. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate that. Welcome, guys. Hi. Good morning. Yes. Question from Jasmine. How can I help my sister who suffers from trauma and has mental issues? Does prayer help? I send my love and support. Is there more I can do? Yeah, depending on whether or not they're telling me it's both biological and emotional trauma. And again, people that are dealing with emotional trauma can be very, 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 very sensitive to these incoming energies. I would encourage you to go to your sister and ask her to connect. Ask her to connect to the energy of the sun and feel its life come to her and going into her. This will be very useful for her. It will also introduce her to getting her mind out of the way. Many souls are unraveled in the structure of personality, which is very limited in its capabilities and only to this physical dimension. But we would suggest that you do that. Have her connect to the essential energy and spirit of the sun. What you call that sun in the sky is not simply just a big ball of what your scientists call plasma and fire and other elements. It is a living sentient consciousness. It is a giver of life for this world and many others. But yes, have her do that. Have her do that. Have her feel the essential life of the sun. Wow, that's really cool, Jasmine. Great question. All right. Someone saying the sun is a third generation star. Well, it's funny you asked that because he's saying no. He's saying no. It's not a third. The sun is not a third generation star. It's the alpha of planetary life. That suns give birth to planets. Suns give birth to planets. I'm just asking when and why. And he's saying this is a function that happens at regular intervals through the life cycle of most stars, not all stars. Many of you do not understand the full spectrum of physical life, let alone the full spectrum of the source of the life that maintains the physical. But yeah, the sun gives birth. Hi. Oh, you're very welcome, Jasmine. I call it the jurisdiction star because there's only 81 grand rising suns in existence. Well, there's significantly more than that in existence. Just in this galaxy alone, there are hundreds of billions of stars. And yes, while life is rare in terms of spatial occupation in the galaxy, it is plentiful in the the true context of the meaning of life. Again, science, as you understand it in this dimension, is very limited in its understanding and perception of life. Your Venusian surface has different life forms on it that you do not know, although your scientists have discovered a very interesting bacteria that exists near the edges of what you call volcanoes. It is a type of bacteria called archaebacteria that lives very close to extremely hot temperatures that would, if you got close enough to them, would incinerate your body or the body of 99.9% of the life forms on this planet. But that life exists under those conditions. Your Venusian surface and other planetary bodies in this solar system have life that is of a different constitution than your sciences would currently define life as being, which is why, because of your existing definitions of what life is, you cannot see other life, because you only have a very narrow perception of what you would define life as being. Thanks, Mike. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to put on a second pair of glasses. That's funny. You're welcome. So yeah, so he wants to reiterate that emotion is the currency of creation. Right? It's the substance that all human function is coming from. Whatever emotions you articulate is a payment for behavior. I really like that. Emotion is a payment for behavior. Whenever you emote or feel a certain way, it initiates functions of behavior. So your emotion is that which you manufacture your creation with. You experience an emotion and you cause an effective creation. So emotion is the fundamental currency of creation as you understand it. When you learn to change the function of your emotion, you change the currency of your creation, what you experience. Hi. Hello. You're very welcome. Question from Chosen. And yes, during out-of-body experiences, some entry wanted to pull me in, but fear appeared. I jumped and warmness went through head to toes. I was in bliss 45 minutes, but it went. Yes, a lot of people misunderstand the difference between low vibrational consciousness and high vibrational consciousness. Obviously, you were able to tune into the energy of that spirit. Who is that spirit anyway? I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just being told it was one of the Most High, but not the Most High. He's saying it was one of the Most High, which is why you were in bliss for 45 minutes. By definition of Most High, he says he's referring to human beings that have reached a very enlightened state, such as, Yogananda or Jesus, Moses or Buddha, who reached very high states of consciousness that let them perceive and know the divine. Hi. Good morning, Amanda. Thank you for that super chat. I love a message from my guides surrounding my dreams. They have been quite interesting. They're telling you to write them down. Write them down. They are pieces of the puzzle that you're in the process of putting together. Not just psychologically, not just from memory, but a spiritual puzzle that you're putting together. Write your dreams down. At the end of a week, look at your dreams. You'll begin to see the correlations. The sequence of dreams is equally as important as, you take a box of a puzzle, you dump all the puzzle onto a table and the pieces scatter around. They don't seem to make sense at first, but you take one and you put it down, you take another, you put it down, and before you know it, you begin to see a picture forming. It's important you look at your dreams, write them down at the end of the week, put them beside each other. You'll begin to see where the pieces are fitting. Yes. I'm being told to tell you, he wants me to tell you too, that the energy of Yeshua, many people call him Jesus, the energy of Yeshua is in part of your training right now of the function of healing. So, but I think you probably already know that, but Michael wanted to say that just so you have no more doubt in your mind about it. Thank you so much for that. Hi, welcome. Hi, Kadra. Hi, Fred. Welcome. Hello, Daniela. Hi, my husband decided to take his life. I talk to him all the time. Can he hear you? Yes, yes. And that, remember, wow, I cannot tell you how many souls, I mean, almost all of them, when they physically leave their bodies prematurely, the first emotion is usually regret. But when I tune into his energy, um, his is to take the pain that he gave others back from them, to take any pain that he caused others back from them. He's in a position where he can now manage that property. He did not know how to take responsibility for his own pain and suffering. So he left very suddenly, as you know. But yeah, he does hear you. I don't know why, but he's showing me a picture of Winnie the Pooh and yeah, and Tigger too. That's the two of them beside each other, right? I don't know what that will mean for you, but he wants me to communicate those images and words to Winnie the Pooh and Tigger too. So let me know what that means to you. Very curious. Yes. Hi, good morning. How can I release stress from my gut and help my cat with releasing my stress he is taking on? Thank you very much. Well, the emotion in your gut, again, if you understand that as a human organism, in a human body, we store thoughts, we store memories, we store emotions. That's what allows the body to functionally behave. You know, you look at a newborn baby, they can't do very much because there's little or no conscious emotion stored in their biological system. They receive that from the environment. We'll come around to what this is for you and your gut. So when emotions get stored in the body, functions of behavior begin to manifest. So when the parents are interacting with their newborn child and they're loving their child and they're embracing it and they're interacting with it and they're speaking to it, they're downloading thoughts and energy into that body. And as that thought and emotion accumulates in the body, functions of behavior begin to emerge because they're imparting functions of emotion and thought to the child. Over time, those emotions and thoughts that the parents impart to the child formulate the cornerstone of what you call their personalized identity, their personality, which evolves and develops. And then beyond the realm of the parents, it begins to take thoughts and ideas from the environment around it, school, friends, teachers, and the level of complexity of the personality evolves by the amount of information it takes on, which begins to articulate and change the function of its biology. You can actually say that the downloading of emotion and thought into a child is what helps it grow. Very interesting consideration. Yes, thank you. With regards to your gut, the emotion that you stored there needs to be released. You no longer need to keep that emotion. He's saying that you've already learned the lesson. You've already learned the lesson. You don't need to keep the pain of that lesson in your gut anymore. Yes, yes. You know, if you want, you know, go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and consider booking me. But you have to learn that people store emotions and thoughts in the body. Some you don't need to hold on to anymore, but most people don't know how to release old emotions out of the body. Most people just hold on to them for many lifetimes. You might come in into a new body, get a new personality, but you as a soul carry forward emotional qualities and predispositions that you had in previous lifetimes, right? And if you don't know how to release emotion from the body, then they'll continue to sustain functions of behavior, even for many lifetimes. But you need to get that energy out of the gut. You need to release that old emotion out of the gut, out of the solar plexus area of the body. It's not who you are. Remember that. Emotions are not who you are. Emotions are the substance, the currency of creation. Emotions is what lets human beings physically act. without emotional energy, there could be no function of physical action. It is impossible to have physical action without a function of emotion behind it. It's impossible. Yeah. And your cat will, again, will through empathy take that on because you're radiating that out into the system, right? But yeah, if you want, go to my website, book a half-hour reading with me, and we'll have you walk through all the details of that, because there's some stuff you don't want us to share in public about why that gut feeling's there and what happened to bring it into manifestation, right? There's some things you don't want made public. Question from Chosen. I do love your energy, William. So happy to see you. You are like an angel. Thank you so much for all your help providing on the channel of all. Wishing you all the best. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Yeah. Hi, good morning. Creation is the currency of emotion. It's very true. It is emotion is the currency of creation. You cannot have an act of creation without a function of emotion. Now, even in Christian scripture, they talk about where God creates everything and pronounces it all as good, because it is good. He felt good, and his feeling precipitated the function of creation. Yeah, God has feelings too, just different than the definition a human being might think. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for the roses. Appreciate that. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for following. Appreciate that. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and follow. We only do live shows on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. They told me, 7 years when we first started doing them, that the reason for doing live shows is, one, I need to learn to let go and not be in the way so much, but more importantly, that mistakes and errors would be able to happen and the ego could be cast aside and the essential nature of the messages can be delivered in their truest form without preparation, without ego in the way, without trying to make it a certain way. Like politicians prepare their speeches, they prepare their stories. They said, you don't prepare stories. That's just not the truth. You want to let the truth come through you. Let the truth set you free. Hi. Oh, you're very welcome, Laurie. Any message for me from my son? Yeah, get into gardening this year. Like, go deeper into gardening. Yes. I don't know why, but he's showing me. Yeah, he's showing me. What is that? I don't know what that is, but it's like a celery root. I don't know if you grow vegetables, but he's showing me a picture of celery root. I don't know why, but celery root. He wants you to definitely get that message. So I said hi to him. He wants you to know about gardening and celery root. I don't know why he wants you to know about celery root. You might want to look into that. Hi. Daniel Soul is asking, before sleeping, I got a few open eye visions of tablets that were very densely populated with symbols in black and gray. I feel excited about these new visions. Who sends them? Hermes Trismegistus is sending those to you. Hermes Trismegistus is sending those symbols to you. Again, write as many of the symbols down as you can. Because again, a lot of people are getting downloads of information, but attributing it to fantasy and not to reality. Part of the noise, it's like an echo chamber in here, even though we're a number of yards from the street. I don't know if you're able to pick up that background noise. Thank you so much. Yes. Good morning. I'm almost tempted to look up what celery root is. Maybe somebody could look up celery root. I think I will. I'm going to look up celery root. Hi. Celery root. Let's see what we got here. Celery root is a nutrient-dense, low-calorie, and low-carb root vegetable packed with vitamin K, C, and B6, plus potassium and phosphorus. Its high fiber content supports digestion and heart health. Okay, I understand now. It acts as a versatile low-carb potato substitute, providing anti-inflammatory benefits and promoting bone health. So obviously, your son is tuning into some health considerations of yours, and I think that's why he's suggesting the celery root to you. Hi. I'm very good. Thank you for asking, Annika. Thank you for the hands and heart. Thank you so much. Hi. My mom passed almost a month ago. Wow. I'm happy for you in one sense, but I understand. Close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes for a moment. And put your hand over your heart. And just ask, telepathically ask your mother to come close to you. And ask her to come as close as she can to your physical body. Because she can't interact with you physically, but she can interact with your energy. So ask her to come close to you right now. And don't let your mind try to tell you what you're feeling. Just let yourself feel her energy. Because the mind goes, usually when souls that just recently leave interact with us, most people go into mournfulness and grief and sadness because the brain is telling you they're gone, they're missing. Their physical body is gone, but their essential nature, spirit, is still very much alive. So call her to interact with you and let yourself feel her energy the way you're able to feel it at this time. This is something we teach people how to do, to connect to their loved ones, their guides, their angels. Everybody has guides. Everybody has angels. Everybody has loved ones. You might even have loved ones from other lifetimes that want to connect to you. You just have to learn to shift your perceptual apparatus from the physical dimension exclusively to the realms of energy and emotion. But yeah, let her come close to you. She wants you to give you like a big, full body hug. She can do that energetically now. She can literally encompass your whole body with her love. Yeah, there's different potentialities when you leave the body. Thank you so much for the badges. Thank you for joining the fan club. Thanks to my fans on TikTok who've helped that evolve a little further. So for those that are wondering, I have the energy of Archangel Michael, but we're also taking Q&A. All right. Do you have anything from Nana? She says, you have my grace. She says, you have her grace. You have her grace. What do you mean by grace? She says, grace from her is remembering the gentleness of being, the softness, the gentleness of being. You have her grace. She's giving it to you. Hello. Well, hello, Mathis. Good to see you. There is a split going on. Can they talk a little bit about what to expect in the coming years? Wow, it's a great question, and it's a mainstay of their message to us for the last 7 years through me, and that humanity is at a very interesting crossroads. Excuse me, she knows that humanity is at a very, very interesting crossroads right now. We're poised between the polarities of love and fear, more on the polarity of fear than love. You must understand that human emotional expression is the very substance that orchestrates material experience. The energetic vibration of greed structures very precise and specific behaviors. The emotional embodiment of lust structures and generates very specific emotional functions of behavior. Every condition in the human realm is based on the currency of emotion that you're using. You can use the currency of love. You can use the currency of fear. You can use the currency of anger, joy, sadness, playfulness. The emotional spectrum that you have available to you is quite remarkable. And the different shadings of it can be like a finely spiced meal with just the right amount of this and the right amount of that and this exquisite meal. You construct your life with your emotional energy individually and collectively. You are constructing your lives, your civilizations with the currency of your emotion. And you are not the first humanoid species to exist upon this planet. You're the first in the form that you are familiar with now, but you're certainly not your first lifetime on this planet, and certainly not the first humanoid species on this planet. But you do need to understand that that function of emotion exerts the same effect of creation across all life forms. You see, in the animal kingdom, very little changes happen in the kingdom of animals, at least not that you can see, because the structure of an animal's emotional makeup is very, very narrow in its bandwidth. So there's very little deviation in expression. Whereas in the human realm, you have access to a broader spectrum of emotion, everything from exquisite love to murderous rage, and everything in between. And depending upon the emotional currency you use, you can easily observe in the human kingdom what is occurring, what is the emotion behind it. Greed is an emotion. Lust is an emotion. Love is an emotion. And they manufacture experiences very differently one to the other. And your humanity is going in a direction that is, well, from the perspective of your biology, not so pleasant. But that does not extinguish or negate your capacity to choose a different function of emotion. You're capable of choosing a different function of emotion. You can surrender your greed, your lust, your anger, your rage. You can surrender those and let the articulation of love be that which manifests your experience of creation. You're seeing these emotions playing out in a much bigger spectrum as your time goes forward in these next 16 years or so. There's a big play at work here. And you get to watch the manifestation of your emotions play out on the fabric of time and space right now, in all of your nations, in your homes, in your own individual lives. Your emotions are the currency that fabricate your experience of creation. And it's, from our perspective, it's very interesting to watch how so many of you believe that this physical dimension is the only world that you have to work with. There are other worlds, there are other experiences. But we watch with interest how you're going to be doing this. Will you choose love or will you choose fear as the ultimate currency of your expression? Wow, great question. Hi. Question from Susie. Wonderful to see you today. Love and blessings to everyone. Do you have any message from Robert for his heart family? He went into the light in August. It's that perception of light is a common phenomenon because you're shifting from a material dimension to an immaterial dimension. You're shifting from physical eyes to awareness, perceiving without the mechanics of a physical body. But a message from Robert, let me just tune into him. I don't know why, but I'm giving me this picture of Charlie Chaplin doing a comedic dance. It's very funny. Yes, yes. Have fun and dance. Like, have fun, celebrate, delight in it all. Yes, you're all creating it. Welcome, Susie. Glad you're here. I've been really having bad dreams. I feel like I'm being attacked spiritually. Oh, this sounds interesting. Before you go to sleep at night, you must do three things, is what they've taught me, and I'm going to share it with you. Three things you must do. One, you must calm the body with the breath. Many of you don't understand the power of your soul over biological systems. But you must lie your body down and breathe. Let the body relax. Bring the body to relaxation with the breath. You lead your body with its breath. You take over its breath and you lead the body to be still and relaxed. Likewise, you do the same function with the mind. You use the breath of the body to bring the mind to stillness. These are the first two things you must do. Bring the body to real rest through the breath. Bring the mind to stillness through the breath. And then when the mind and body are calmer, then you speak to mind and body and say, this evening you will sleep deeply and peacefully. And you repeat that very gently, like a lullaby to your mind and body. You will sleep deeply and you will sleep peacefully. You will sleep deeply and you will sleep peacefully. You communicate this. As the soul, you have dominion over mind and body. You are designed that way. How else would you learn creation if you didn't have some autonomy over it? Yes. So you're not being attacked. You just got a mind that's looping on. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hello, Heather. I can see your comments here, Heather. At least that one. That's very funny. Hi, any message from John? Would appreciate it. Thank you kindly. Yeah. There's a Van Halen song called Moon Dance. Go out for a walk in the moonlight. On a full moon, go out for a walk on a full moon. The energy of full moon is really conducive to allowing a different set of energetic perceptions to occur. And John will be there with you. And you'll feel his presence the next full moon. There's lots of silliness around what people think about the full moon. Full moon is very powerful energy for the planet and for consciousness. When do I start your journey of mediumship, etc.? Sign up for Masterclass 102, starts February the 28th. It's called Liberation. It's a 3-week journey in both mediumship, but it's also a journey in learning to let go of old emotions, to releasing old, dense emotions from your body. Most people go through lifetimes carrying forth pain, anger, guilt, shame from lifetimes, not just from this lifetime. You accumulate it in this lifetime too. Much of what you accumulate in this lifetime can be based upon what you brought forward with you. But one of the things they teach us in the master classes is simple, easy, effective ways of learning to shift and change emotional energy stored in the body to liberate it from the body so it's no longer stuck in there, right? So yeah, sign up for Masterclass 102 Liberation, starts February the 28th. You can find the link in my TikTok bio or on any of the videos under my YouTube channel descriptions. Or you can just go to williammichaelforbes.com and sign up there. Oh, here we got a message about Jesus. Jesus is here, choosing reborning. John 3:3. His forever children now. If you're okay with loving him forever, Matthew. Yes. Thank you so much for that message. We love Jesus very, very much. He's a beautiful soul. He's a wonderful being. And he wasn't the only one that realized God, right? He was the one that spoke most overtly and stated very specifically that I and the Father are one. He came to the full integration of his soul, merging back with the Father, or the primary creative source of this dimension. And he also said anybody could learn to do that. One of the reasons why the Romans murdered him and murdered for 300 years, murdered almost everybody and anybody that Jesus taught how to. Jesus taught people how to meditate, how to commune with God, how to connect with God, to embody him in your heart, to live from that love in the world. But living from love does not require control and power. And the Roman Empire was all about control and power, as most empires are, right? And so they had to eliminate anything that would disenfranchise the empire. Love does not need power over others. Love just functions from innate goodness and being. Yeah, Jesus was the first one that openly admitted that you could find your way back to God within yourself. The kingdom of God is within you, is what he stated, right? Yeah, I love Jesus. And believe me, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I was not somebody who would say those words. I was not like a Jesus lover or religious person. I'm certainly not religious. I would say I'm more spiritual. I'm a spiritual medium. um, hi. Someone saying, like absolute consciousness is an absolute yes. Absolutely. And if you're here right now, you're already on the journey of mediumship. Mediumship is simply, in the simplest terms, is developing your ability to connect to what we call higher vibrational beings. Jesus, Buddha, Yogananda, God, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, high vibrational beings, Hermes Trismegistus, many other well-learned beings, Joan of Arc, Guan Yin. There have been many enlightened beings that realize the divine inside themselves. Everybody has guides. Everybody has angels. Everybody has God within them. But most people are stuck in their egoic structures and live from there. That's why we have all the problems on the planet that we have. But yeah. Hello. Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. Really appreciate that. How long have you been working with your guides, etc.? Consciously, since about 2019, when I had another awakening. But my guardian angel John, Archangel Michael I first encountered when I was 5 years old. My guardian angel John I first encountered when I was 20 and about to unalive my body at age 20. That's another story. So I've been in touch with them pretty much all my life, but not in the way I have been for the last 7 years, where I now bring through what they want to say and what they want to articulate to people to the best of my ability. Because mediumship, like anything else, is something you learn, because you're shifting your perceptual apparatus from the 5 physical senses to the non-physical senses of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. These other senses allow you to comprehend and apprehend the invisible world of information and consciousness, whereas your 5 physical senses only let you perceive the physical dimension of consciousness. So yeah, so about 7 years now that I've been consciously channeling their wisdom, their knowledge, as I do through all the master classes that we teach on their behalf. I channel them through our master classes, and I channel them here, of course, with you guys. And we do these live shows as often as we can, because they said the goal of their presence is to bring humanity back to its divine function of love, and not so much in the function of fear. They said you need both polarities, but you need to be predominantly in the vibration of love in order to perpetuate the function of a civilization. Whereas if you get predominantly in the function of fear, your civilizations tend to collapse in the vibrational function of fear, which you're seeing with the greed, with the human trafficking, with the sexual objectification of people, with drugs and alcohol. Things that lower the vibration down are functions of fear. Things that lower your vibration are functions of fear. Things that raise your vibration are functions of love. Quite simple, isn't it? But yeah, 7 years. Thank you for asking. Where I've been actually conscious, yes. Hi, Trish, the dish. Do I have any message from my mom? We both are intuitive and I cannot communicate with her. Well, she's telling me that you're communicating with her all the time. You're just not hearing. You got to let go of that idea that you can't hear her. You have to let go of that idea. And yeah, okay. She's telling me to tell you, you have to be open and receptive to receiving. Sincerely open and receptive to receiving, and you shall receive. Does not a cup that is empty receive water when you pour it? Thank you. Question from Mathis. Can Jesus talk about the semen relation and how to have tantric relationship? He's saying this is not a place for that form of a discussion. This is not a place where the deeper understanding of its spiritual function is to be articulated. And you will have enough understanding from what I just said that most people will misunderstand that, because many people are at a very different function of perception. When you communicate information, it's important you understand that people will perceive it on the level in which they exist. And many people interpret this communication from the level of biology, not from the level of spirituality. This is not the place for that communication. Wow. Hi. Hello. Hello. Welcome. Glad you're here. You can propagate celery root and it will grow. You can chop it, eat it, and it will continue to grow. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Somebody got a message, I think, from their mother about celery root. Again, I don't operate on conventional mind while I'm doing these live events. Any message from mother-in-law? Her son is now in my care. How can I help him? Well, hi, Cindy. If I tune into the energy, the sun, yes. Okay, slow down. So she's saying that you have her son now because you're the bridge that can bring communication from her to him, not as words, but as the feeling, the strength of my love that he needs, which is the strength of love that you also have. You also have that strength of love, and he needs that strength of love from you. That's a beautiful message. Oh, you're very welcome, Susie. Thank Michael, thank Jesus, thank the beings that are talking to you right now. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Hey, I had the most amazing experience today. I saw little lights in front of me. Congratulations. The lights, if you can go back, because the lights were communicating an awareness to you. Try not, for those of you that are having signs and things like that happening, it's not about the signs. In these lights that you saw, it's not about the lights. It's about the subtle, energetic communication that was offered to you. And you felt good seeing the lights. But what's more important is what was the function of the communication, not the phenomena of what you saw, but what was the phenomena of what you felt. Therein will be the truth of what you were so excited about. Because it's not about the phenomena of what your eyes see. It's the phenomena of what your soul knows. Remember that. Remember that. Hi. Somebody said here, I'm curious about this comment. Hello, Merit, TY1CY. Deeper understanding flows easy when you've decided to let it. See everybody with love. Very good consideration. I like that. Again, one of the things they told us in the very beginning is lots of people are getting like 111, 222, coincidences, serendipitous events. Don't get lost in the phenomena of what you're observing. Learn to get tuned into the essential information, the energetic offering, the vibrational frequency that's being offered you to incorporate into your being to make you awake and aware. That's what those things are for. They're not to get you, oh, I always see these numbers. No, it's you're being given a message that underlies the obvious observation of the senses. And you need to learn to tune into that information. Not what the brain sees, but what the heart knows. And all of you know you're receiving a message. All of you know that it is special, but not all of you know how to understand it properly. Thank you so much. Hi. Oh, I got to do this here, right? I'm in Sweden, and you talk the level I resonate with. Well, congratulations. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, where's that over there? Excuse me for a moment. Hi, should I start my business? I get a strong yes. Stop hesitating. Stop hesitating. Do I have a message for how you can do that? Just take the first step. Just give me a moment if I just got to get something. One moment. There we go. Thank you. Bear with me. Just there. Make a little movement over there. Wow, I got so many comments to catch up on here. Hi, guys. Welcome. Hi, Jessica. Good to see you. I got cut off. Any message for me? Feeling not sure what to do with my life. Book a reading with me. If you've got some strong emotional stuff going on, or if you're dealing with the energetic movement of someone in and out of your life, or if you're whatever you're dealing with, book a reading with me. And if you don't want to book a reading with me, then take our masterclass 102 Liberation, which begins February 28th. It's a 3-week program. We'll be going live in lessons every single day from Sunday to Friday. It's a 1 hour, 1 to 2 hour live event every day from Sunday to Friday for 3 weeks, where you'll be introduced to the things that they taught us about releasing old emotions, learning to shift your mind, how to release emotions out of the body, how to transcend the enslavement to memory. Very, very fascinating course, but it's so much more than that too. All the details are on my website. You can go see. Hi. Yeah, just do it. Don't think about it. Breath work is so important. It really is. Hi, good morning, everybody. Do you think that thank you, Amanda, appreciate the roses. Do you think there is a possibility that a trickster might be attacking that lady? Again, things can only happen to us according to what we harbor in our own hearts. But yes, I will. He wants me to just say to you, what you harbor in your mind and in your body in the form of emotion is orchestrating, sustaining, and maintaining conditions in your life. When you learn to functionally change your emotional energy, you'll begin to functionally change your experiences. I agree with what was just said there. I've gone through many incarnations in this lifetime, many different lives in this life, as everyone does. And when you learn that changing your function of emotion orchestrates changes in your experience is more important than anything else, to realize that your emotions are orchestrating your experiences. Very fascinating to understand that. Our Masterclass 102 Liberation is all about learning how to master your emotional energy. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Hi. Good morning. My mother passed away last year, and now she's calling on the phone. Is this possible? Absolutely, Robert. Absolutely. It's a little more difficult. She's got a lot of awareness and knowledge. If she's calling you on the phone now, that takes a lot of energy to physically manifest consciousness that way. She's a very strong woman, or well, you already know that. But yeah, it's very possible. Yeah. I don't know why, but she's giving me this Beatles song. Do you want to know a secret? Yeah. Yeah. She's letting you know that she loves you. But it's an old Beatles song. She wants to whisper in your ear that she's in love with you. She loves you very, very much. Hi, welcome. Hello. Got a full house today. It's wonderful. Someone saying our need to ask questions comes out of being restless, not trusting, not living in the now. We get so much more to be humans when we give up positively. I'm not sure if you meant positively or positivity. Yeah, being in the present moment is neither good nor bad, but it is bliss. Hi, thank you for following. Appreciate it. For those you want to know, I've been shadow banned on YouTube and TikTok for a couple of years now. So whatever you can do to share this out to other people, subscribe to the channel, follow, encourage others to go and watch. There's over 1,500 channeled messages on my YouTube channel that you can go and observe and watch. Congratulations, Cindy. Yeah, being saved by angels, that's happened. That's a real thing. Angels will save you. Your guardian angels will save you if you're open and receptive to that. Sharona is saying, I am currently going through an awakening. Do you feel anything with me? Any message from my grandma? If you're going through an awakening, follow this channel. Take our master classes. I channel the Ascended Masters and other multidimensional beings, as do our other mediums in the program. And we also incorporate holistic nutrition. We have a wonderful, wonderful organic holistic nutritionist who's been practicing for over 22 years. And she'll introduce you to different types of foods that will shift and change the vibrational function of your physiology. She'll help you find and define the foods that are best for your body, your mind, your soul, right? Because nutrition is important. And because every human body is a unique biological architecture, because every soul is different. So every body has to be keyed to the function of that soul's energy, which is one of the reasons why when they try to eliminate the population through the you know what that thing was, right? When they tried to do that, it didn't work as well as they thought it would work, because every single human body is divinely keyed to the unique soul that's inhabiting it. So they could not create one thing that would be lethal to everybody, but they created one thing that created enough problems for people that it would be somewhat inconvenient for certain souls being able to exist in this physical dimension. Excuse me. Thank you. Hi. Look at that, eh? Hello, everybody. Thank you. I work as a medium, and she has been blocked. Or you can block her if you need to. But again, if you block, you're inviting something too. Yes, you are on the right track. Yeah, be patient. You need to dial down. You need to get control of your breathing. So many of you are in emotional discord because you do not understand the function of emotional regulation within you. Many of you depend upon the world to regulate your emotions for you, rather than initiating the function of your own capacity to do so. You need to learn to regulate your own emotional energy. Once you learn to do that, well, the whole world becomes a very different experience for you when you can moderate and regulate your own emotional energy. Many of you do not know how to do this at all. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate it. It's been going on for some time. Again, hi. Thank you for the roses. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hi. Gonna catch up. Oh, we're getting caught up here. Thank you for the hearts. Appreciate that. Hello, Sharon from Los Angeles. Good to see you. Everyone is receiving downloads. Most people don't know how to decode them, anytime you get a new idea or a new thought, you do have to be careful, because there's now technology to put thoughts in people's minds on this planet. Remember that there's now technology that downloads thoughts into people's minds. But yeah, everybody's capable of receiving downloads. Very few people know how to recognize that or even decode them properly. That requires a different level of perception. Hi. Thank you, Judy. Appreciate that. Was it my son reaching out to me last Memorial Day, or was it someone else trying to deceive me? You already know the answer to that, Sharon. You know it was your son. Like, you know that. Don't doubt yourself. Well, have a wonderful day, Judy. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. My sister passed away last February. 15. Does she come to me as a frog in the garden? Yes, she does. She's done that. She likes amphibious things. She always liked the way that they jumped. They always fascinated her. That's her way of communicating with you. Yes, absolutely. She said, "Don't be surprised if you start running into people that are wearing big frog costumes." She said, "Just in case you don't get it." Hi. Hello. Thank you for sharing the live. Yes, I was gassed out of work with sour gas. Walked away, not even a headache. Pauline saying, "My whole family has passed to the other side. Do you have any messages?" Yeah, they're waiting for you. Your time will come. Be patient. Enjoy this world. Some of them are living it through you somewhat vicariously. Yeah, they're telling me to tell you, you are not alone, and you are not the last. You have so many family around you that you don't see. Family is not just determined by biology; it's determined by spirit. And you've got some people in your life that are like family to you, that you need to recognize are like family to you. But yeah, your biological family and loved ones are waiting for you. Hi. Hello. I think we're almost caught up. Sherry, yeah, your aunt, I don't know why, but she's showing me a broom in a hand, like an old corn broom, and sweeping, cleaning up. That's your message. Something about cleaning up. You have to get into cleaning up. So get into cleaning up. Whatever you have to clean up, clean it. Don't leave a mess around. I'm a psychic too, and we got the same hair. You're good. I prefer not to call myself a psychic. I prefer spiritual medium, because again, there's lots of terms like psychic, and psychic refers to the non-physical senses, but I prefer defining myself as a spiritual medium, because I don't do predictive things unless they tell me that there's certain things, like they tell me humanity is on a course right now, that if it sustains this course where much of our actions are governed by fear and greed, we are not going to have a very pleasant experience, put it that way. But if we learn to shift our energy from greed and fear and sexual objectification, these lower vibrational practices, humanity will go into a very wonderful paradigm, like Atlantis did. But thank you. I do appreciate this. I do appreciate what you meant by the sentiment. Hi, they were caught up there. Hey, it took a while. Hey, William, any words so that my day is not full of anxiety? Thank you for the cowboy hat and the glasses and the mustache. I actually have a picture of myself with a cowboy hat, and yeah, a very old picture I was just looking at the other day. Um, yeah, Leslie, I know that's been a long time, but that anxiety is the very thing that you need to cultivate the new self that has been waiting to emerge for a long time. When you're going through your anxiety during the day, when you're going through your anxiety, sit with your anxiety. Don't attack it, don't avoid it, and simply be present with it and say to it, no matter how you feel, I will not abandon you. Stay present with it. Don't ignore it. Don't try to get away from it. Stay lovingly present with your anxiety. And if you stay lovingly present with your anxiety will go through an energetic change. Like Michael was saying, Emotion is the currency of creation. And the emotion of anxiety is a function of creation. But you can change emotion from one state to another. So be lovingly present with your anxiety today. Don't attack it. Don't deny it. Stay present with it. I'm with you. I love you. I will not abandon you. I will take care of you. Communicate love to your anxiety, and you'll watch throughout the day it will start to diminish. The minute you impart a different quality of emotion to another emotion, you can change emotion with another emotion. Very fascinating and simple. Thank you, Leslie, for that. Well, this has been a full morning. Hi. Hello. Yeah, doing a bit of clearing here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Somebody's asking here, hello, Sherry. Yes, thank you so much. It's very kind of you to say that, Cindy. Offer that to other people. Thank you. And somebody sending you love and compassion, Leslie. Hope you're seeing it on the screen right now. I put that up on the screen for you. Sunflower Skies is sending you love and compassion, Leslie. I know how that feels. I had a childhood friend named Leslie. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. It's very kind of you to do that. Well, I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming by today. We'll see you on the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul and TikTok. I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. live. And have yourselves a wonderful, a joyful day. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the gifts and the prizes and for following, subscribing. Share this with other people. Remember, all of these live events are saved and stored on my YouTube channel for you to watch. Go if you want to get the full message, or if you were given a message, you can go and watch it and get the exact structure of it, because I don't operate from the perspective of memory when I'm channeling. So I want to wish you all a much wonderful and a joyful day, and I'll see each and every one of you on Friday, and some of you I'll see tonight. And for students, we'll see you in a few hours. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.